Charizard Y is one of the most popular Mega Evolutions in the VGC Pokemon Champions metagame. Able to set up Sun is pretty incredible with Charizard Y. However, Charizard X is still a pretty strong Mega Evolution as well that was actually able to get second place in a huge 1,000 player online tournament, and we're going to be trying out Charizard X and seeing how well it can perform. This is Tabu's Mega Charizard X. He was able to get second place in an online Victory Road tournament that had over 1,000 players. Let's break it down. So first Pokemon up is going to be the Charizard, and when it does Mega Evolve, we are going for the Charizard X, which does get access to Tough Claws, which powers up its contact moves by 30%, so the Dragon Claw and the Flare Blitz are doing more damage with that Tough Claws boost. And this EV spread that we have on this Charizard has some solid HP investment and 1 into each of the defenses. That allows you to live while in Mega form. You do live a Dragon Claw from Max Attack Adamant Garchomp, as well as Timid Eternal Floet's Moonblast from the Fairy Aura. So that is going to what allows Charizard to tank attacks, and then the rest, you also have the speed investment. This allows you to outspeed Mega Aerodactyl after one Dragon Dance setup, and the rest will go into attack. This Fang can do a lot of damage already at the start, and then after one Dragon Dance, it is able to decimate teams. So next Pokemon we have is going to be the Tyranitar, which is also going to be running its Mega Evolution Stone as the item. So we have 2 Mega Evolutions on this team. Makes it a bit more flexible, and of course does give you more options. With this EV spread that we have on the Tyranitar, it's a lot of attack investment that gets it to the jump point. We have 21 speed points into the speed, and that is because that allows Mega Tyranitar, when it does Mega Evolve, to be able to outspeed the base 100s, specifically like Charizard Y after an Icy Wind from the Milotic. So you would be able to outspeed all Charizards in base 100s after that Icy Wind. Then the rest is going to go into HP. With this moveset of Rock Slide, Crunch, Protect, and High Horsepower. It's just really interesting to see High Horsepower, but there is a lot of low kick on the King Gambit recently, but also you actually are able to threaten Sneasler because the standard Tyranitar set isn't able to threaten Sneasler. High Horsepower can still hit some of the Steel types, as well as specifically being able to actually threaten the Sneasler, which is pretty big because that means Sneasler can't disrespect the Tyranitar. You have to respect it with that High Horsepower option for that coverage. So next Pokemon we have is going to be the Leftovers Milotic. It is a pretty standard set with the competitive ability that is able to give it a +2 special attack boost every time a stat is lowered on the Milotic from the opposing Pokemon, which is pretty useful. Icy Wind, Scald, Protect, and Recover, really great because Icy Wind speed control is always nice to help out with the sweepers. Scald is a great accurate water type move that does have a chance to burn. Recover, of course, on a bulky Pokemon like Milotic just allows it to stick around, and same with Protect. The EV spread is going to be a Calm Nature because you want to take advantage of Milotic's high special defense stat of base 125. Will just allow it to be able to tank attacks, so you don't have to invest too much into it. The rest is going to be a lot of HP investment, and the speed investment does allow this Milotic to be able to outspeed the base 120s with a neutral nature after an Icy Wind. Think of like Adamant Sash Sneasler, think of Eternal Floet, and Garchomp. And then the rest is going to go into physical defense because Milotic doesn't have the best physical defense stat in the world, so you want to improve that physical defense so it can take the attacks pretty well. Overall, pretty solid partner to help out with the Charizard X. Get some speed control. Scald is pretty nice. Bulky Water, that's really hard to remove. And of course, it is just really nice to scare away the Intimidates from dealing the attack drops to your physical attackers. Next Pokemon we have is going to be that Citrus Berry Incineroar, a pretty big classic here. Not much to say. Intimidate, of course, lowering the attack stat of both of your opponent's Pokemon when Incineroar switches in. Fake Out to be able to help set up for anything else that you might want to do with your partner. Parting Shot to be able to pivot around, lower the attack and special attack of the opponent. And of course, Flare Blitz, Drow Chop, really good coverage. Drow Chop does help out with the sound moves especially, which is useful against Hyper Voice, which is pretty common on like Mega Gardevoir, Primarina, and more. The EV spread on this Incineroar, you do have an Adamant nature with a jump point in 154 for the attack stat. We also have quite a bit of speed on this Incineroar for a faster Fake Out, but it also does help out with a few Icy Wind situations with like the Milotic, where you could go for 2 Icy Winds and then be able to outspeed some of the faster 110 Pokemon. And then a good amount of HP investment because you want Incineroar to take attacks, as well as good amount of defense and special defense across the board. yeah, not much to say. Incineroar, of course, we all know how good this Pokemon is, able to support the rest of the team. Double Fire is all right here because Fake Out plus, of course, Intimidate really useful at being able to help set up, for instance, the Charizard, stay up with the Dragon Dance, allowing Milotic to be able to take the physical attacks better. Yeah, not much to say. So next Pokemon we're going to have is the Sinistcha, and this one is actually going to be running the Koba Berry, which is able to help out weaken the damage of the super effective flying type moves. So it can think of dual wing beats on Aerodactyl, air slashes on some of the Charizards, Brave Bird on like Corviknights and a few other Pokemon. Yeah, it's actually a pretty interesting item, which is nice. So having a flying switch to this team is pretty solid. Then we have pretty much the Hospitality, which is why you run Sinistcha, because you want to be able to heal your ally's HP. It's very useful for setup mons, especially like keeping the Milotic healthy if you're not able to get a recover off safely. Think of the Incin, think of the Tyranitar, and of course the Charizard X, especially after taking Flare Blitz Recoil. So the EV spread on the Sinistcha is 31 stat points in the HP. You also have a lot of special defense, as you can see, 29 in the special defense stat, and that's because you are able to live modest Froslash Shadow Ball, as well as most blizzards from Froslash. It can be kind of a roll at points, but otherwise, then you have still a good amount of defense with the bold nature, because that's the highest stat that Sinistcha does have access to be able to take the physical moves pretty well. Think of stuff like Kowtow Cleave from King Gambit's, Flare Blitz from Incineroar, and more. It's just able to stick around. Go for Matcha Gotcha, a nice spread grass type move that can have a chance to burn and recover the Sinistcha. Rage Powder for the redirection to help set up the Charizard. The Life Dew, that is always nice to have some extra recovery in case you don't want to switch in and out. And then, of course, Trick Room as a form of speed control, which can be nice on this team because it allows Tyranitar to drive, and Charizard X, if it's not able to Dragon Dance, can still do a lot of damage even under Trick Room if you are facing a fast-paced team. Final Pokemon on the team is going to be Sneasler. I think there's no surprise to see Sneasler. It's one of the best Pokemon in this format by far because it has access to so much good coverage in the format against Eternal Floette, into King Gambit, and more. So this is a pretty standard Sneasler. It's going to be running that White Herb to help out with Intimidate on the Incineroar, as well as the close combat defense drops that it has access to, but also because once you activate that White Herb, you do have the Unburdened Speed Boost, which doubles the speed when the consumed item is consumed. Well, the held item is consumed. So we have max attack and max speed. Pretty simple, fast Sneasler, what to say. The rest is actually going to go into special defense, but it's pretty standard otherwise. Dire Claw, Fake Out, and Close Combat. Dire Claw, strong poison type move. Secondary statuses, we all know the drill. Close Combat, the strongest fighting move, and can proc the White Herb from Burden. Fake Out, we already know how much this supports. And then Coaching, which is going to be able to boost the attack and defense. So for instance, you have a few options. You could go for like Fake Out plus Dragon Dance with the Charizard. Then you could go for Coaching immediately. If your Sneasler activates the White Herb, you can go for Coaching even against a Charizard X that's already boosted with +1 or +2, because you can go for the Coaching before and have now access to +1 defense Charizard. It also helps support the Mega Tyranitar as well. Can support the Milotic, getting that defense boost, so Milotic is just going to be able to sit there and not take any damage. Yeah, there's a lot of applications for Coaching on this team. It makes a ton of sense. So how to use the team? Well, mainly it is about setting up your Mega Evolution, especially through Charizard X and able to go for Dragon Dance, or you could go for Coaching with Sneasler as well to boost up your Mega Evolution's attack and defense stats. Normally with Charizard, you probably want to lead one of your Fake Out Mons, going to probably be one of Incineroar or Sneasler. Of course, Incineroar is really nice because the Intimidate, as well as the access to go for Parting Shot immediately, is really solid. And then you also have Sneasler, which is able to go for Fake Out into the Charizard X, and then potentially a Coaching as well that you can just boost a Charizard's attack and defense with, which is pretty great as well. You also have access to like Milotic Lead. Milotic Lead is pretty solid, especially if they have Intimidate. So you can go for the Milotic, be able to maybe get a +2 special attack boost through the competitive, and then start being threatening with the Scald damage or Icy Wind for the speed control to allow your Charizard X or your Tyranitar or maybe Sneasler to outspeed your opponent's Pokemon. You could do like Milotic Lead plus Tyranitar or Charizard, because if they lead the Intimidate, they get punished. And if they don't, it's still a scary spot for them because you can go for like Protect to get Icy Wind speed control, or you could just make sure that the Incineroar or whatever Intimidate Mon they might have in the back not want to switch in against the Milotic. So you are able to set up Dragon Dances with the Charizard or threaten heavy amount of damage with Tyranitar. Milotic can also lead with the Incineroar as well, because you do get access to Intimidate next to Milotic to help out with its weaker physical defense. And then you could, of course, set up with a Parting Shot plus like Icy Wind scenario to bring in your Tyranitar, your Charizard, Sneasler safer and threaten heavy damage. Sinistcha will always generally want to be kept in the back for the hospitality, and you really just want to try to set up probably going to be the Charizard or maybe the Tyranitar. You can also go for some Milotic endgames if their team is weak to Milotic. If you would like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. And if you would like to try out the team, the replica code is going to be on the screen. But otherwise, let's get started and play some games. All right, we have Como, Frostlass, Heliolisk, Corviknight, Arcanine, and Sneasler. Okay, I wonder if it's Dry Skin Heliolisk for the Basculegion answer, which would be pretty funny. All right, so trying to figure out how I set this up because Como's a little bit annoying for this team. I do really like Milotic here. Milotic's really good, and I could take advantage of the Corviknight because Icy Wind into the Mirror Armor would activate my competitive ability, which would be pretty solid here. And I think Milotic's really good against my opponent's team in general. So I think I do like leading Milotic. The question is, am I leading Milotic plus Incineroar, Milotic plus Charizard? Or do I even want to bring Charizard and just go with the Tyranitar? But I do kind of like Charizard. It is pretty decent here. I don't know if I want to keep the weather up or not. I don't think I need Incineroar in this matchup at all, now that I think about it. Sneasler, it's okay. It's not amazing, but it's alright. I think I kind of like Milotic plus the Charizard lead with maybe Sinistcha Tyranitar back just for the weather control. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. I like Tyranitar to be able to help out against the Frostlass. If there's Veil on this team, I would like to deny Veil if possible because of the fact that Veil is a little bit annoying for me to break through, like the Corviknight, for instance. So let's see what this is going to be here. Lead-wise. Going to be Heliolisk Sneasler. Okay. Don't mind that versus Milotic plus the Charizard. Alright, so are they going to double the Milotic immediately? I can go for a Scald attempt or... I got a few plays. I could also go out into heal. I could go into Sinistcha and just protect. It's not a bad play either. I think Sinistcha go for protect is pretty reasonable, so I'm going to go for that play. Unless they go for Faint Thunderbolt into the Charizard turn 1. I feel like that this is a pretty safe overall option. And then I could get a Dragon Dance up with my Charizard. So let's see. We will protect the Charizard here. And switch to Sinistcha. Let's see what the Thunderbolt and Fake Out combination. They do Fake Out the Charizard, okay. As they go for a Thunderbolt into Milo slot. That makes a lot of sense. Alright, beautiful. Alright. So Sinistcha takes that extremely well. And now we can go for a Rage Powder. And we can go for a Mega Evolution and Dragon Dance, which should be pretty solid here. Alright, looking pretty good. You might be wondering why I'm Mega Evolving, but it's just in case there's like some random spread move on the Heliolisk that's electric coverage. It also covers for Rock Slide Sneasler as well if they do have Rock Slide on the Sneasler. It's because I won't be quad weak to it. So yeah, I think this is the best play. I would like to find out if the Heliolisk is potentially Scarf this turn. Of course, it doesn't confirm. Heliolisk is probably running Timid. Sneasler could be running Adamant or Jolly, but if the Sneasler moves first, that would confirm a lot of information. We do see the swap out into Como, so this is actually pretty good. I do threaten the Dragon Claw into the Como slot, so I think that this is a pretty solid turn for me. Let's see. This is probably Dire Claw or Rock Slide coming out, maybe Coaching, but Rage Powder will come out from the Sinistcha to draw away any attacks here from my Charizard as they go for Throat Chop. Ooh, they have Throat Chop. Interesting. Okay. As we are able to get a Dragon Dance up with our Charizard. And now we have +1 Dragon Claw that is threatening a ton of damage. The question is, do I want to sack Sinistcha or would I rather keep it around? I think I'd rather keep it around easily. So I think I'm going to go Milotic for this slot. And I'm going to go for Dragon Claw. I'm going to target down the Como. Yeah. I don't want Como to ever set up. Even if it protects here is likely and I could get the Sneasler, I'd rather just be able to make sure that I'm not taking a Clanging Scales, which would be pretty bad if I took a Clanging Scale. So I'll keep Sinistcha around so I can keep the Hospitality. I can also threaten to Scald into the Sneasler the next turn, which is nice. But let's see what they decide to go for here. I could have Rage Powdered and maybe not have been as greedy, but I do think Hospitality is pretty alright with the Charizard. And they might think I Rage Powder again anyway, so let's go Milotic here. They do protect Como, that makes sense. What is the Sneasler going for? Okay, Dragon Claw into the Como. They do Draw Chop again. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, awesome. So now I can go for a Scald into the Sneasler slot, and I'm gonna go for Dragon Claw into the Como. I don't see a problem with that. They don't have... I guess I could double the Como with Scald. Yeah, because it covers an Arcanine switch if they brought Arcanine in the back. So I might as well go for it. If Heliolisk comes in, it's going down to Dragon Claw. So I think Dragon Claw plus Scald, double up the Como, catches any switch. Like Frostlass goes down to Dragon Claw. Corviknight's the only one, but they aren't going to risk it. So Dragon Claw going to come out into Como. Como goes down. Beautiful. So that is Como gone. That's probably one of the biggest offensive threats that they had here. It's going to be a close combat into the Milo slot. So they're trying to get rid of Milotic. Interesting. Do they have an answer to Charizard? Maybe it's Arcanine in the back. Wide Up going to activate. I could have Icy Winded, but my Charizard would still be slower most likely. I do get the Scald off into the Sneasler. If I get a burn, it's incredible. Let's see. No burn. Okay. We'll have the leftovers recovery on the Milo. Is this Arcanine coming in? So we saw Fake Out, Draw Chop, Close Combat. It's probably Dire Claw, so the Sneasler probably doesn't have Protect. So this is pretty decent here of spot. I could probably just try to KO the Sneasler. It's Heliolisk and one other in the back. I'm assuming it's Arcanine at this point. Like, Corviknight is really weak to the Charizard, especially if they thought I was Charizard Y. It's Heliolisk coming out. That makes sense. Although Heliolisk is, again, heavily threatened here. I don't need Tyranitar anymore since it's either not Frostlass or they didn't bring the Frostlass. I could also just try to Recover as well. Recover isn't bad here. And Dragon Claw to Heliolisk. I do like Recover and Dragon Claw to Heliolisk. Even if they protect Heliolisk, it should be fine. They go for close combat into the Charizard. We take it pretty well. We will be able to get a Dragon Claw off in the Heliolisk. Are you Sash Heliolisk? Oh, it's Scarf. Okay. Hyper Voice KOs the Charizard. Okay, that's not as ideal, but I still think this is fine overall because my Milotic got a Recover off, and I can actually go out into Sinistcha, which isn't too bad here. Okay. Wondering if it's Arcanine back. I have a suspicion it might be Arcanine back. We are going to go Sinistcha for the recovery. Okay, I should have probably thought it was potentially Scarf Heliolisk if it's their Basket Leech encounter, but I wasn't 100% certain. But Hospitality makes that Milotic really healthy. And at this point, I still think I'm in a pretty good spot, as long as it's not Corviknight specifically, but I don't know if they brought Corviknight. And even then, Milo might be able to beat the Corviknight, as long as we get a Scald Burn. So we will Scald the Sneasler, and I'm going to attempt to go for Trick Room here. They're probably switching out the Heliolisk into a slot. I don't know if it's going to be the Arcanine. If I get a Sneasler, I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot against the... Or I could switch out Sinistcha actually into Tyranitar. That also makes a lot of sense here. Actually, no, that makes a ton of sense here. They're not close combating my Sinistcha slot. They're probably either going to Draw Chop the Sinistcha or they're going to close combat the Milo. Both are reasonable here. And I think keeping Hospitality still around while getting rid of the Sneasler is still always the best play. So they switch out into Frostlass. Okay, Frostlass is the last Pokemon. Good to confirm. Can they beat Tyranitar? I don't know if they can. Alright, Sandstream is up. Is this Draw Chop? Yeah, Draw Chop to prevent a Trick Room or something. That makes a ton of sense here. And I will be able to get a Scald off into the Sneasler. Oh, it doesn't KO. Oh, but I do get a burn, so the sand plus the burn will KO it. Okay, that is a little bit lucky. I thought Scald was going to do a little bit more after the special defense decrease, but okay, that's really good for me. I don't think I played this as optimally. Oh, Sneasler survived, but that's all right. Frostlass and Sneasler can't knock out my combo with a double up here. I think my best play is just to Icy Wind and probably just Protect. Yeah, just protects the Tyranitar here. There's no reason to have Tyranitar take a bunch of damage. Let's see if Frostlass Mega Evolves or not, or if it doesn't, which is completely fine. So these are going to retreat, which is okay. Into the Heliolisk. Yep. But do they have a way to threaten the Tyranitar? Because if they don't have a way to threaten the Tyranitar, it still looks really rough for them. But we will see the Mega Evolution on the Frostlass. Yeah, I should have probably kept Charizard healthier I could have probably just Rage Powdered. We're going to see the Protect from the Tyranitar to make sure that we're not taking like a Blizzard plus Close Combat double up, as we are going to see the Blizzard. So Milotic absolutely eats that. And we do get an Icy Wind off, which is nice. Okay. I really don't think Thunderbolt plus an attack from the Frostlass would KO my Milotic. I really don't. And I wouldn't mind getting another Icy Wind off here. Plus a swap to Sinistcha, because I will get the recovery. Because with the 2 Icy Winds, the Tyranitar would be guaranteed to outspeed the Frostlass, which I think is good. I'm going to go Sinistcha here and get the recovery. There's also a chance that the Heliolisk locks in a Volt Switch, and if they lock in a Volt Switch here, that means that the Sneasler would be coming in on an Icy Wind. I don't really want them to get... Well, actually, no. That means it would get knocked out by Burn, so they're probably not going to do that. Maybe I could have stayed in Rock Slide. I know Heliolisk gets access to Focus Blast, though, so that might not be a risk I really want to take here. I'm curious if it's Weather Ball. Weather Ball would make sense. Bring out the Sinistcha, get the recovery. They do Thunderbolt the Tyranitar because they're desperate to get rid of Tyranitar. That makes sense as well. This is Blizzard T-Bolt. I don't think that would knock out Tyranitar, but I understand why my opponent went for it. Okay. Another Blizzard. And yeah, at this point, it's looking really rough. The Frostlass is now going to be -2 speed. The Heliolisk is also going to be pretty slow. And at this point, because we have the Sandstorm coming up, we also have access to just a fast Tyranitar, which should just be able to outspeed the Frostlass for sure. The Heliolisk probably not, even with the 2 Icy Winds because of the Choice Scarf. But at this point, I can see myself just going for a Icy Wind Rock Slide combination, and I don't really see what my opponent does to stop that. Like, they could go out on a Sneasler for the Frostlass to reset it, but does that really save them in the end? Because Tyranitar is still tanking the attacks pretty solidly. I think my play is probably just to go for... do I recover? No, I think I go for the knockout in the Heliolisk with Icy Wind Rock Slide, because it would definitely KO with single target Rock Slide if I hit the Icy Wind into Sneasler. Yeah. Let's go for Icy Wind Rock Slide. They're going to retreat to Frostlass because it is probably their best win con here. Sneasler's going to come in. They go for Thunderbolt into Milo, which is cool because they didn't get the Thunderbolt damage on Tyranitar. I do land the Icy Wind, and if I land a Rock Slide into Heliolisk, I think it's game. I just can't really see them beating the Tyranitar. Okay, Rock Slide does connect. Beautiful. We KO the Heliolisk, single target. And now it's Frostlass versus Milo and Tyranitar. Scald plus knockoff is always the play. Yes. Or I could recover, but the problem is if they Blizzard freeze my Milotic, it could get a little bit ugly. So I think I go for Scald knockoff, because knockoff or Crunch. I don't think Crunch KOs Frostlass with the Snow Defense boost. I guess it depends on if it's a bulky Frostlass or not. They could Shadow Ball to Milo, but single target Blizzard won't KO the Tyranitar, so they go for the Blizzard. Yeah, I take a lot of damage. Okay, that is one way they could win. I do get Scald off into the Frostlass. Oh, am I going to lose on the freeze? I might. Are they going to Blizzard again, or are they going to Shadow Ball to Milo? Because here's the thing. If they go for Shadow Ball to Milo and Tyranitar stays frozen, then I have to take a single target Blizzard. If I recover here and a Blizzard, I think Milo would actually win the 1v1 against Frostlass. So I think this is kind of a call. I think I go for Protect to stall out a Shadow Ball to give Tyranitar more chances to unfall. Let's see if I'm right on this, because they know I can click Recover. So we'll see. I'm going to Protect here. Ah, they clicked Blizzard, but I can still go for Recover the next turn, or I can unfall with Tyranitar. Both work. Yeah, I still am frozen solid. Okay. All right. Milo, you have to clutch up. You have to clutch up. Or Tyranitar, you have to unfall, which I don't remember if it's 3 turns that I'm guaranteed to unfall, or is it 4? Because they changed freeze mechanics. I don't remember the exact specifics. They have to go for Blizzard. Milo should be able to tank. Is Blizzard. They're also running out of Blizzard PP. So, like, freezing the Milo is not going to be a super big option. Okay, they will KO the Tyranitar, but Milo should still be fine here with a recover. And as long as this Frostlass doesn't have anything crazy, we should be good here. Like any super big tech moves. We'll protect to get some leftovers recovery, and then... because we want to stall out the snow, just in case they try to Blizzard Freeze. Yeah, they're going to forfeit. They kind of realize they can't be recovered Milo. That's why I thought they were going to Shadow Ball to go for a single target Blizzard. Because as you saw, Shadow Ball into Milo would have taken the knockout when I was low. And then they could have got a single target Blizzard since I stayed frozen. So that's why I made the play. So... they needed quite a bit of RNG to beat me. Though I do think that I could have definitely played better in that set, especially with my Charizard. I should probably just Rage Powder and not been greedy. Like, I should probably had suspicion that could have been Scarf Heliolisk for sure. Alright, we have Charizard, Rotom Wash, Aegislash, Venusaur, the Garchomp, and Incineroar. Charizard X is really good against my opponent's team. And I mean really good. As long as we can handle the Garchomp efficiently, like Charizard X is able to do fantastic work against my opponent. I don't know if I want to bring Milotic here. It's only good into the Incineroar, and I guess the Garchomp too, but at the same time, it's not like a guaranteed way to beat the Garchomp. So I think I want to bring Charizard Instant lead. I think Charizard Instant seems pretty solid here for the most part. And then have Tyranitar plus the Sinistcha in the back. There's like a few things I could do. I could also lead Sneasler here. Sneasler with Fake Out plus Charizard would also be decent. But I think that this is pretty alright. I think there's like a few different lines I could go for. Like Sneasler definitely could put in work. I just like Incineroar's consistency with the Intimidate across the board. Because there's nothing stopping me from being able to intimidate my opponent's team. And then I just really like the ability to be able to potentially parting shot on some of these more offensive threats. So we see Rotom plus Aegislash. So this is pretty decent for me, as I will lead Charizard plus Incineroar. And I will go for a Fake Out into the Rotom. Is there a point of Dragon? I think I always Dragon Dance and I don't Mega. I think I don't Mega. The reason I think I don't Mega is because I'm worried if they double out into Scarf Garchomp and they can click Earthquake the next turn. But maybe the bulk would be better. Actually, I'm just going to take the bulk. I'm just going to go for Fake Out into Rotom and go for... or should I just Parting Shot out to Aegislash? I think I Fake Out the Rotom. Because I don't know what kind of Rotom it is. Okay, they switch out Rotom. Is this Garchomp? Okay, their own Charizard. That's fine. Because Charizard shouldn't be that much of a threat to me. Okay, nice. I wish I Parting Shot it. I think Parting Shot would have been better, but we confirmed 3 of their Mons, and I'm curious if they have Venusaur in the back, because they kind of struggle against... well, I guess they don't struggle against Milotic with Rotom Wash. The Charizard takes a bit of chip. We get Dragon Dance off. And the Aegislash is probably going to go for Poltergeist or Close Combat, one of the two. Poltergeist. Okay. And I take it extremely well. So +1 Dragon Claw KOs the Charizard, which is really nice here. I don't know if the Charizard protects. I think I'm just going to protect my Charizard and go for a Parting Shot into Aegislash. It covers for King Shield on Aegislash because Parting Shot will go through to King Shield. King Shield only works on attacking moves. The Charizard, I don't think it Tailwinds here. I like the idea of Parting Shot to Aegislash and getting Sinistcha to heal my Charizard, and then next turn can go back to Incineroar, Dragon Claw to Charizard, being a pretty good spot from there. So it looks like they're going to protect their Charizard. Maybe a double protect. It's like protect King Shield maybe. Or they're going to go for an aggressive Poltergeist play, but that's fine as well. Yeah, they went for an aggressive Poltergeist play. It might be Sash, which is fine by me, as we do get a Parting Shot off into the Aegislash. And now we can get in Sinistcha. And we can go for Life Dew, or we could go for another play. We live Poltergeist from the -2 Aegislash, and the Charizard's pretty comfortable at this point. Like, there's no Dragon Claw switch on my opponent's side, so I will go for Dragon Claw, and I will go for a Life Dew. I think it makes a ton of sense here. Because the Charizard's probably the biggest threat. I think after the Fake Out chip damage, it should go down to Tough Claw's Dragon Claw, I imagine. It could be Bulky Charizard, but I'm not 100%. Maybe I could have went into Incineroar here, but this is still alright. I think Dragon Claw should KO after based on the Fake Out damage, but let's see. Oh, barely. They go for Air Slash. Okay, wait, no. I'll live Air Slash plus Poltergeist. After the Intimidate? I'm pretty sure. Or after the Parting Shot. Oh, really? Oh, I got crit. I was like, there's no way that should KO. They crit me. Oh, I think I lived that. I think based on the damage we saw. Because it did what, like 60 damage? Yeah, I think I lived that for sure after the Parting Shot. Oh, that's so unfortunate. This is looking pretty bad now. It's winnable, but it's not looking great. We'll go Tyranitar. Yeah, this became rough. Maybe I could win with Trick Room. It kind of depends on what their last is, but at this point, I think my best play... The Charizard switch out or stay in. Like, I don't have to worry about Air Slash because of Koba Berry. And they can't Air Slash Poltergeists me. I think I go for a Crunch into the Aegis Slash, and I think I go for a Trick Room. Because I think I need Speed Control in order to win against Garchomp. If it's Garchomp in the back, if it's Instant, that's fine. The Charizard switches out Rotom? No, Garchomp. Yeah, okay, that's expected. Close combat. I should tank that since it's -2. Yeah. Alright. So I'm okay with this. I will get a Crunch off into the Aegis Slash and maybe Sinistcha under Trick Room, because Sinistcha under Trick Room is kind of dangerous. I don't know how they exactly beat the Sinistcha under Trick Room. So I guess this is decent. As we will get Trick Room up. Cool. Because Aegis Slash is in range. Charizard's in range. This is not terrible. So now I can go out into Incineroar, get Intimidate off into the Garchomp, and we will go for a Machagacha. And yeah, they have no Machagacha switch-ins. They have Rotom and Charizard. So maybe Sinistcha can pull back this game. Oh man, I really thought the Dragon Claw was KOing the... I really thought the Dragon Claw was KOing the Charizard. And I would have lived Air Slash into Poltergeist if it wasn't for the crit. But you know what? We do have, I guess, like a still pretty reasonable position because of Sinistcha. We still have Tyranitar alive, and Incineroar can come in once again. Get Intimidate off to cover for Shao, Sneak, and Dragon Claw. They go for Sands Change. Wouldn't be surprised if this is Earthquake, but that's fine if it is. Incineroar should be able to eat pretty comfortably, and then we can try to knock off plus the Machagacha into the Garchomp slot or the Aegis Slash slot the next turn. So we will go for Machagacha. If we get a burn, that would be really nice. No burn. They go for Earthquake. That makes sense. Should I pin the Aegis Slash slot the next turn? Ooh, that did a lot of damage. I think I should pin the Aegis Slash slot the next turn to make sure that they can't go Rotom safely. So I think we go for a Throat Chop into Aegis Slash and a Machagacha. Because this covers Rotom coming in for the Aegis Slash if they want to try to stall out Trick Room. Because I could fake out the Garchomp in Machagacha. I don't know if they want to risk the burn turns. I could see Aegis Slash sacrificing itself as well to get a free switch. But yeah, they do switch out into Rotom, so that made sense to me. Yep. Alright, so I get Throat Chop plus Machagacha damage, which is nice. They stay in with the Garchomp, okay. As Machagacha, really good damage here. Alright, actually, Throat Chop Machagacha should get the Garchomp, and I do get a burn on the Garchomp, which is nice. So we get Throat Chop off into Rotom, extra damage onto the Rotom. Oh, it's not Citrus. I wonder if it's Scarf. That would make sense. Earthquake, I absolutely tank it with the Incin. At this point, Machagacha Throat Chop looks really tough for them to handle. Yeah, I really like Machagacha Throat Chop into the... Okay, it's Leftovers Rotom. Here's a Garchomp Scarf. How many turns of Trick Room are left? 2. I think we should be good overall. I'm going to Throw Chop and I'm going to Machagacha. Or should I Life Dew? I could Life Dew the Incin and Throw Chop the Rotom. I think I'd rather just Throw Chop and Machagacha the Garchomp though. I think Rotom's going to protect. Does the Garchomp protect? We'll see. It doesn't. That's alright. Get a Machagacha off into Garchomp and a Throw Chop. We're back to basically full on the Sinistcha. Throw Chop will KO the Garchomp, so Garchomp goes down. Alright. It's reasonable. Now we have a reasonable spot because we know it's Sash Aegislash, so it should probably be max speed on the Aegislash. They still don't have a good swap here. I guess I could Life Dew Throw Chop. Yeah, I'm going to Life Dew Throw Chop the Rotom slot. Because I don't think they can afford Aegislash to go down here. They're probably going to King Shield on this last turn. I can't really Parting Shot because if I Parting Shot on Aegislash, that would actually be not great. So I'm going to go for a Life Dew with my Sinistcha and Throw Chop the Rotom, as they're probably going to attempt for a Double Protect on both. If they get a Double Protect on both, it's actually really bad, but... Or a Double Protect on Rotom. Okay, they do Protect Rotom. Should be Protect on Aegislash, yep. But this was like the only play I could really do here. So I do get the Life Dew on the Incin, and that actually matters for the Charizard. That does matter for the Charizard, which is nice. And we get the KO onto the Rotom. Alright. Okay. Sandstorm subsides. Trick Room returns to normal. The question is, do I beat the Aegislash into endgame? That is something to be determined. Charizard in. Now, what's my best play here? I'm definitely switching Tyranitar for one of the slots to KO the Charizard. The question is, am I switching out the Incin or am I switching out the Sinistcha? Let's see. I think it's Tyranitar for this slot. And I think it's Machagacha here. Or I could switch out Sinistcha, but the thing is I don't know if Sinistcha would live a Poltergeist. I think I'd rather have Incin play a Mind Game against the Aegislash than having the risk Poltergeist. But I guess I could risk like a Poltergeist miss as well. So I'm going Tyranitar. This will get the Sand up so I KO the Charizard. It also reduces the damage. They Air Slash. Oh, they Air Slash just Sinistcha so they can't Poltergeist anymore. That's amazing. Okay. That guarantees me to win, I think. Yeah, that guarantees me to win. What did Aegislash do? They close combat to Tyranitar. I knew Tyranitar was probably going down to the switch. Actually, I wonder. Because I was like, okay, if they Air Slash or Heat Wave, does that even knock out Tyranitar? But we do see the Aegislash go for the close combat, and Machagacha will come out and finish both of these Pokemon off. Beautiful. Okay, it got a little bit dicey because I got crit, but you know what? We will take it. We will take it. We were able to still have a good position with the Sinistcha under Trick Room, which was really good. I think maybe one more aggressive play I could have went for was like getting a Throw Chop off into the Garchomp earlier, because I think there was a point where I could have got a Throw Chop into Garchomp where I Throw Chop the Rotom Wash, though I don't think the Throw Chop in the Rotom Wash was necessarily a bad play because I still got a lot of damage in the Rotom to put on a lot of pressure. But yeah, definitely could have been options that I could have considered. However, I don't think any of them were bad for me. I mean, I was able to get like the Dragon Claw damage into Charizard. Again, I think I would have been in a really good spot if I got a Life Dew off with my Sinistcha into the Charizard. But what can you do? All right, we have Eternal Floette, Charizard Cleaver, Basculegion, King Gambit, and Whimsicott. All right, we have the Cleaver. I wanted to bring Floette, probably, right? I think my team's pretty weak to Floette. If they don't know I'm Charizard, why? I think I definitely bring my own. Okay, so I don't think I bring Tyranitar in this matchup. It doesn't really accomplish anything here. Milotic is okay, but it's not like incredible. Incin's good. I probably want Sinistcha for the recovery because I'm probably going for recoil moves with my Charizard. It might be a Charizard Sneasler lead, which seems pretty okay to me. With Sinistcha plus the Incin back. Let me think about this. I have 2 good answers to King Gambit. I should be okay against the Basculegion. The Cleaver I'm still kind of scared of, but I think this is alright. I'm kind of curious on what they lead. Whimsicott plus Cleaver, Whimsicott plus Floette. They could lead the Charizard if they want to, but I don't think they will, realistically. It should be Charizard. Could be Charizard Y or X on this team. I can't tell. But let's see what they decide to go. It's Whimsicott Cleaver. Okay, so I could have let Incin, but this is still alright. Here is it the Cleaver Scarf. I have a lot of plays I can go for. I think my best one is just to go for a... just get damage off. I think I just go for Dragon Claw into the Cleaver and I go for Fake Out. Because it could be Scarf Cleaver. So I'd rather just try to get the damage off. I think Whimsicott probably protects here. I don't know if Cleaver will. But even if they don't protect, that's alright. Like both Pokemon don't protect. They do protect the Whimsicott is the Cleaver protecting, so it confirms not Sash if that's the case. Okay, they do have protect. Alright. As we will Fake Out into the Cleaver slot. Okay. It's a bit weird of a game just because this Cleaver is such a weird mon to deal with in general. Granted, I have tools for it. So this is probably Encore into the Sneasler and probably the Stone Axe, I imagine. I'm gonna go Incineroar for the Sneasler slot and I'm just gonna protect the Charizard. Because I don't want the Stone Axe coming up here. And this is probably Encore plus... because even though Charizard can threaten the Encore, I gotta reposition like the board here. They go for Tailwind. Okay, that's fine by me. Don't Stone Axe my Sneasler. Yeah, they Stone Axe my Charizard. Okay. Makes sense. I'm going to go on a Sinistcha now because I can get Trick Room up. And I'm going to go for a Fake Out into the Cleaver. Yeah. I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna navigate through the Cleaver, man, because the Cleaver is not like a mon I brought the best offensive coverage to. Maybe this was Milo just for the Cleaver, but granted, I feel like all my tools are good. I want Life Dew because I can't prevent the Cleaver from sending up rocks. I mean, I do get the Fake Out damage, which is nice. It's probably Encore plus Stone Axe. Yep, that's fine. Now I'm gonna set up my... do I set up Trick Room actually? Do I need to? It might be nice, or I just go for Matcha Gotcha. Because the thing is, if I do Trick Room, I do have to deal with the Whimsicott. I think I go for Matcha Gotcha first into a Flare Blitz. Or Parting Shot. I could Parting Shot the Cleaver and bring out the Sneasler. Actually, that's not that bad. I'm gonna Parting Shot against Sneasler. The problem is Stone Axe is gonna be annoying. Yeah, they get a Stone Axe off. Oh my goodness. That did so much to my Incin. That's -1. Is that the... I think it's Hearthstone. I think it's Hearthstone Cleaver. I know it gets Sharpness, but that still did a lot. They go for Moonblast and the Incin double up. Okay. Incin still is around. Good. As we do get the Parting Shot off into the Cleaver, so we can bring in our Sneasler. Oh boy. Dealing with the Basculegion is going to be super difficult now. Bring out the Sneasler. Matcha Gotcha. We'll break a Sash on the Whimsicott. Nice. And now I think in this position, I think I Trick Room here. And I go for a Dire Claw into the Whimsicott. I want to get rid of the Whimsicott if I can. I don't know if they're going to protect. If they protect, that's fine. Is it? It's not ideal, but I still think it's okay. I think I'm going to play under Trick Room and go for Charizard X Sweep under Trick Room, which is one of the weirdest things here. Because I think Tyranitar would have been better to sweep on the Trick Room, but granted, this is probably the best I can do at this point. No, Whimsicott could retreat. The Cleaver's going to retreat, which is actually really nice here. Basque? Floette. Okay, that's actually good for me. As, they Encore here. Okay. I do get rid of Whimsicott, though. Actually, this is not that bad, depending on the last. I do get a Dire Claw off into the Whimsicott, which takes a knockout, and the Machagacha, which will ensure the Floette will go down to Dire Claw. So that's actually good. Yeah, this is actually not bad. And I get a burn on Floette, which doesn't really matter too much, but that is like always helpful. Tailwind petered out, so this is really good. Let's see, Basculegion, could be Cleaver. Only one of them can be Scarf. But we know the Cleaver isn't Scarf because it protected. So I'm guessing last is Basculegion if they went for this kind of play. It is Basculegion, that makes sense here. Okay. I think I always just switch to Instant to get the Intimidate off, and I get a Dire Claw off into the Floette. If I expect Floette, or I don't know if Floette protects, because I feel like the Instant switch is obvious. Maybe my play is just a Machagacha switch to Instant. I don't hate this play either because I still get the Intimidate off into Basculegion. I get to confirm if it's Scarf or not by it outspeeding the Floette. And then, because I feel like Floette might protect here because if I switch to Instant, I would always live the attack from the Basculegion and threaten the Dire Claw knockout the Floette. So that's why I'm like thinking that they should protect Floette and probably just last respect a slot. Probably going to be the Sneasler. No, they went for the Wave Crash instead. That wouldn't have KO'd the Sneasler. Okay. If I switched an Instant and Dire Claw, I just won. Although this is still not a bad spot because I'm still in a good spot with Sinistcha, unironically. Yeah, I'm still in a good spot with Sinistcha, unironically. Do I live Light of Ruin? I'm unironically still not. Yeah, I mean, the flow goes down. And they're locked into Wave Crash, but the thing is, the Wave Crash doesn't KO any of my Mons. So I think I'm actually still in a fine spot. As long as Charizard lives one Wave Crash, like, I think both my Pokemon live a Wave Crash. That's the thing. I think both my Pokemon live a Wave Crash, and I should be able to take a knockout here. And also, if it's Light of Ruin Floette, that means that the Basculegion should be Scarf, because that should be a fast Floette if that's the case. So Charizard can come in. We're both taking rocks damage. I should live a Wave Crash at this range. And we go for Fake Out into the Cleaver, and we go for Dragon Dance here. Yeah, this should be alright. Because after the recall on the Basculegion from Wave Crash into one of my Mons, it will be in Dragon Claw range, so I can close combat Dragon Claw the next turn. I do get a Fake Out off into Cleaver. That actually did a lot of damage. They Wave Crash a Sneasler. Fine. Wait, that KO'd? Oh, is this a call the next turn? Because Stone Axe knocks me out. I think this is a call the next turn. So I outspeed Basque and I outspeed the Cleaver. I either Dragon Claw now to Cleaver or I protect the Scout for Dare Protect. And then it's a weighted 50. Because if I KO the Cleaver, I live a Wave Crash. I'm like pretty sure Charizard will. Okay, they Wave Crash and they Stone Axe. Oh, it's a wait. It's a true call. I could also go for the Stone Axe miss. Do I want to go for the Stone Axe miss? I think I'm going to Dragon Claw to Cleaver. Okay. No Protect. If I live Wave Crash, I should win. It's 75% Charizard. Yeah, I do live. Okay, cool. And now, especially with that recall, Dragon Claw should KO. And if this wasn't Scarf for some reason, I'm pretty sure Aqua Jet doesn't KO me at the range. If Wave Crash did that little, I don't think Aqua Jet KOs me. Yeah, no way Aqua Jet KOs Mantis range. So Dragon Claw will come out into the Basket Legion, take the knockout, and Charizard X gonna be the endgame hero. Oh my goodness. What is this cleaver, man? Why is there a cleaver? Why was I dealing with a cleaver? Well, thankfully, I was able to kind of stall out the Trick Room. I was kind of able to get a lot of damage into them. And then figure out an endgame for Charizard to clean up. I did have to make a few calls in the end though, but it did work out. I really am surprised Sneasler didn't let the wave crash though through the Intimidate Basket Legion. I guess the Rock's damage was that impactful. Alright, we have the Aerodactyl, Serena, Charizard, Ninetales, Garchomp, and Sneasler. Okay, we have 3 potential Megas. Charizard will always be Mega. The rest could be secondary Mega Aerodactyl on this team. I could see it. What would I want to go here? I gotta be careful about the Aerodactyl. I think overall I should be able to do Charizard. I don't know if I lead Sneasler because I think it is probably Mega Aerodactyl. I think Instant's okay. If they lead Sneasler Aerodactyl, maybe it's a little bit scuff. I think maybe I just lead Milotic here because I don't think they lead Charizard. I think Milotic Instant's pretty decent here, actually. I like it a lot with Charizard plus Sinistcha. I could also go with Sneasler, but the problem I don't enjoy dealing with is I don't think they're bringing Ninetales because I do have Tyranitar plus a potential Charizard. So I think Ninetales is probably out. I think Aerodactyl's always coming. I think Serena might come and Garchomp. And then I think it depends on if it's Mega Charizard or if it's not Mega Aerodactyl. Because if it's not Mega Aerodactyl, if it's like Sash, I could definitely see something else. But okay, Serena plus Aerodactyl is pretty okay for me as I lead Milotic plus Instant. This is a pretty good lead for me because I do get the Intimidate off immediately into the Serena and Aerodactyl. And it's hard for them to click Trop Kick if they have Trop Kick into Milotic because it would activate competitive. Because Trop Kick 100% attack drop into Serena. So I think my best play is to go out into Sinistcha immediately and not risk a lot of damage on the instant. Could be like high jump kick or low kick plus rock slide. So I think we go Sinistcha immediately, which I'm a pretty big fan of. Oh, it's Scarf with Power Whip. Okay. Does it go for rock slide? Was I expecting Scarf Serena? I do get the Icy Wind off. Okay. Because I think Scarf Serena still underspeeds Bask. So I'm actually a little bit shocked. But you know what? I'll take it. Milo is going to heal. And I need to kind of get Milotic decently healthy. So I think I'm going to protect and I'm going to go for a Life Dew. Even if they do a Wing Beat, I have Cobra Berry, so it's not that big of a deal. Or I could go for a Trick Room here. I guess Trick Room isn't bad either. Trick Room isn't bad here either. But I kind of like Life Dew in this situation. Let's see. Because if they try to bring out like Garchomp for the Serena and double out here, I think that makes a lot of sense to me. And next turn I could probably like switch out Instant, which is fun, or switch out Milotic into Instant, which is pretty reasonable. So I will just go for that. They go for Power Whip here into the Milo slot. I'll still be able to heal my Pokemon. They do go for Rock Slide. This is really, really good if Sinistcha gets the Life Dew off. Because basically we've kind of helped recover the lost damage on this first turn. Nice, we get the Life Dew. Beautiful. Nice. Milo is healthy. And now we can go into Instant for an Intimidate round. Keep the Milotic around. And we go for a... We can go for Machagacha or we could go for Trick Room. Both are pretty reasonable. I think I'm going to actually go for Trick Room this turn. I like Trick Room this turn. Because I think I would force the Serena out, which means I could bring my Milotic back in and heal it, which would be really good. So bring out the Instant for the Intimidate. They power up again. They really want to get rid of Milotic because I guess Milotic's a really big problem for them. And Rock Slide. Yeah, they're just clicking Rock Slide at this point. Incineroar dodges, which is nice. Oh, double dodge. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Get to the Trick Room setup, and now... What are they switching in? They don't really have any good switches for the Serena slot, so I'm just gonna go for a parting shot. I think they should always switch Serena. The speed order is Incineroar is faster, right? Incineroar is faster than my Sinistcha. Yes, I can't parting shot into Life Dew, which is a bit unfortunate here. I will go for parting so I can heal my Milotic. I'm gonna parting shot and I'm gonna go for Matcha Gotcha. Let's see if they try to bring in like... Okay, I thought they could potentially go for a Power Whip read, but thankfully they didn't. They just go hard Charizard, which is really good for me. They go for Wide Guard. Ooh, wait, this works out because I get Charizard X in potentially, which is really nice. Okay. Charizard X under Trick Room is going to sweep, which is definitely a different one, but I will definitely take it. So we get the parting shot off into the Charizard, and now we can bring out our Charizard of our own and click Dragon Claw, which should knock out Aerodactyl at this range, I imagine. Because Aerodactyl is not exactly the bulkiest Pokemon. I'll go to Incin just in case as well. So I can switch into Heat Wave pretty comfortably, keep Milo still healthy, and have Sinistcha around for Hospitality. So I want to KO the Aerodactyl because even though it's going to be -3 at this point, they could switch out, but I don't think it's as likely. I think they're just going to stay and click Rock Slide. And the more chances I let this Aerodactyl stay on the field, once Trick Room is over, I'm just going to be a victim of potential Rock Slide flinches, especially since Serena is blocking Fake Out. So I want to make sure I can get rid of this Aerodactyl before it flinches down my entire team outside of Trick Room. So I will bring out the Instant for another round of Intimidate, and we are going to see the Mega Evolution. Their Charizard's slower than my Charizard, but I guess that makes sense. It could be bulky Charizard then, which is cool. All right. Charizard will bring out the Drought. I will bring out the Tough Claws, though, from my Charizard. And let's see what they do here. Wait, what? Did I not Trick Room? Wait, did I Life Dew before? Wait, am I crazy? I flinch. That's fine. But wait. Wait, what? Oh, the Aerodactyl from the Icy Wind from turn 1. Okay. I was like so confused for a second. I'm like, wait. Wait. Oh, okay. The Icy Wind's actually biting back now. Although this is still a pretty okay spot. It's a little bit awkward, but it's still an okay spot. I'm going to protect Parting Shot and get out my Milotic. Okay, Aerodactyl going to switch out. So I get to eat my Citrus Berry with my Incin. Serena. Okay. They want to prevent Fake Out, which is understandable. So they're attacking with the Charizard, which means I go into Milo here. But this is still fine. Serena's not a bulky mon. Dragon Claw probably knocks out. Or I can Dragon Dance here. Dragon Dance is actually pretty good here. So I'm going to go into Milotic. Did they Air Slash? They Weather Ball my Charizard. Oh, did they cover Tyranitar switching in? Okay. I just want one Dragon Dance so I can outspeed the Aerodactyl, and I am going to risk my Sinistcha here. I don't know if this is Air Slash or just a Solar Beam. This kind of covers for both anyway, so I don't think this is too bad. And the Charizard's at -2 special attack. The Serena, does it have a crazy move for Charizard X? I don't think so, but alright. This covers for Aerodactyl, which is really nice because once I get a +1 speed, I will be able to outspeed Aerodactyl. Only mon I might have to be worried about is Scarf Garchomp, but even then I still will have Incin with Intimidate around. So we will bring out the Sinistcha, heal my Charizard with Hospitality. Serena doubles out here into Aerodactyl. Yeah, that makes sense. This is pretty good for me though, because I will have Dragon Claw pressure. They do have Solar Beam, so that's very good. Okay, got an amazing turn here. Yeah, as you can see, Sinistcha eats that up, and we get the Dragon Dance with our Charizard. So now we're faster than everything under Trick Room. So all the pieces are finally aligning together. As Trick Room returns to normal, we will go for a Dragon Claw into the Aerodactyl. And we will go for a hard swap from Sinistcha. Because we don't risk a crit here. I think we just go out into Milotic here. I wonder what the last mon is. Is it Garchomp? Is it Sneasler? Or what's the last? It could be Garchomp, Sneasler. What was the last? Ninetales, but I don't think it's Ninetales. Dragon Claw will come out into the Aerodactyl. We'll take the knockout with the +1 attack. Tough Claws boosted Dragon Claw. The Charizard is going to go for Heat Wave, but it's really not going to do any damage to my team, especially at -2 special attack. Or is it -1? I think it's -2. Leftovers on the Milo. We'll recover, and then Serena max speed does not outspeed my Charizard. I wonder if I one-shot it with Dragon. If I one-shot it with Dragon Claw, or if I have to Flare Blitz. I think I would Flare Blitz to Serena anyway. Sneaser's the last. Okay. +1 Dragon Claw would knock out Sneasler. Flare Blitz definitely would. I think I'm just going to Flare Blitz to Sneasler. No, I think this is fine. I'd Flare Blitz to Sneasler, and if it's Sash, it's fine. I'm going to go for a Scald into the Sneasler as well. I don't need an Icy Wind on Charizard. I think I could win the endgame with Incin anyway. And okay, we do get a Flare Blitz off into the Sneasler. It is Sash. Okay, good to know. But they need to double a slot to take a knockout. Like, I'll go down to close combat with my Charizard. That's fine. As long as Solar Beam doesn't... Please, Solar Beam, behave. Oh, they Heat Wave to cover for Sinistcha. That makes sense. Okay. I think this is good because the Sun turns are wearing down, and I'm just going to get an Incin to switch in, which is good. So I will be able to KO the Sneasler. Then I can go out into Incineroar on this final turn here. As the sunlight fades, the Milotic is now pretty comfortable and doesn't have to worry about Solar Beam. We go out to Incineroar to intimidate this Serena. This is also another reason why I was fine with going for Scald plus Flare Blitz, because even if Sneasler was Sash worst case and I lost my Charizard X, I'm pretty sure my Incineroar, Milotic, Sinistcha are enough to beat this endgame pretty consistently. So I will go out into Incin, and we will go for Flare Blitz into the Serena, which will KO at that range. And Dragon Claw would have KO'd at that range earlier too. And then we'll go into Sinistcha to heal my Incineroar, so I don't have to worry about like... Well, here's the thing. If you don't Power Whip the Milotic, you don't beat the Milotic. But the thing is, I'm always switching into Sinistcha. If they lock into anything that isn't the Power Whip, they just lose to Milotic. So I don't think they really have an option here. Yeah, there's really nothing that they can do that can lock in with... and cover for both, because they have to knock out Incin before it can knock out the Serena, and they don't have Air Slash on the Charizard, so they can't flinch my Incin. So I bring out my Sinistcha, heal my Incin, because we know it's Choice Scarf Serena. It can only lock into a move right now. It goes for the Power Up. It tries to attempt a Milo. They were hoping that I would stay in with Milo as a throw, but yeah, always switching Sinistcha is pretty safe here, because with the Flare Blitz KO on the Serena, I'll always win the game with my Milotic, since the Charizard is -2 special attack and no Sun is up, so they can't even go for Solar Beam crit or Air Slash flinch crit. So Serena goes down, and now I win with my Milotic. So this turn, I have so many plays I can go for. Yeah, they realize that they do lose the game, and I will be able to seal it up. So my brain like froze when I saw like the speed interactions with the Aerodactyl. I was like, wait, what? But it makes sense. I completely forgot about the Icy Wind that I went for, but even then it was still kind of fine, because I was like so concerned about the Serena at that point that I kind of forgot about the Aerodactyl. But luckily it still worked out. I didn't get like heavily punished, but like Charizard X was able to come out, get the Dragon Dance up, and heavily threaten, and I was able to kind of trade it for 2 Pokemon, and kind of in a really good spot because the Charizard Y was again -2 from the parting shots, and the Serena was forced to lock into a move there. Alright, we have Charizard, Garchomp, Eternal Floette, the Aerodactyl, King Gambit, and Milotic. pretty alright matchup. I think I should just be able to do like Charizard plus Sneasler, which is a pretty good one because I don't want to lead instant against the Milotic if they do lead Milotic. I could bring my own Milotic. It is pretty good in this matchup, but I think I'd rather just have Sinistcha to make sure that I'm going for my Charizard X to win the game because I think Charizard X is the most consistent way to win this game. So I'll go for the Charizard X sweep here. Tyranitar, it's good against Charizard. It's not really great and I guess Aerodactyl. Everything else kind of meh. So I don't think it's worth it. And Milo, it's good against my opponent's team. It's just I think I have a better game plan by fully committing to the Charizard than bring Milo. Because Milo requires quite a bit in order to set up. So we're going to see Aerodactyl and Floette here. Okay. Versus Sneasler and Charizard. My play here is always to fake out the Aerodactyl and not Mega Evolve Dragon Dance. Yes. So that's what we're going to do. The reason why this is the best play is because, one, if they attack with their Floette and I Mega Evolve a Charizard, I'm neutral to Fairy, while without Mega Evolution, I do resist it at the very least. So always go for this play. And they let me break the Sash on Aerodactyl, so Dragon Claw KOs, which is really nice actually. Okay. They Moonblast the Sneasler, that's okay. Even if I lose Sneasler, it's not that bad. Yeah, that's fine. As we do get the Dragon Dance up with the Charizard. And now we want to go out into Incin, I think. Yeah, we want to go Incin. I was debating on going Sinistcha and letting them get Trick Room up, but at the same time, I don't think it's worth it. I wonder if they double protect here, because I could fake out Dragon Claw. I think it's still worth going for. I have a line the next turn if this doesn't work out. Yeah, I have a line that works if this doesn't work out the next turn. So I'm going to fake out to Deflow it and I'm going to Dragon Claw the Aerodactyl. I was debating about going for a Dragon Dance again in case I think it's double protect here, but I think this is still pretty reasonable for me. Okay, they don't protect either, so this actually works out really well. So I do get the KO into Aerodactyl with the Dragon Claw, and that should deny Tailwind from going up. Yep. So nice. My Charizard's going to be faster than everything besides the Scarf Garchomp, which is really good here. Okay, beautiful. Let's see what's coming in. Is it going to be the... Oh, Milo coming in. Okay, interesting. I think my best play is just to go for Protect with my Charizard and Parting Shot out the Floette. Because this is either Protect Icy Wind, I think, if this is their option. Yeah, I think that's likely. So I'm going to Parting Shot Protect, because if they don't Protect the Floette, it's still okay for me. Because I'm still going to go for Flare Blitz the next turn. Yeah, they did Protect. So I think this is Protect Icy Wind to try and get the Floette faster than Charizard. That makes sense to me. Yep, exactly. Okay. That made a lot of sense to me. Perfect. And, like, maybe I could have went for a Throw Chop into the Milo for extra damage, but I don't think it's really necessary at this point right now. I think now I just go for a Flare Blitz into the Floette, and I go for a Throw Chop also into the Floette. Yeah, because they have no switch to combo, so I might as well go for it. If they go for a Double Protect, that's kind of annoying, but at the same time, not much I can do. They do go for the Retreat Floette to Icy Wind, that makes sense. Second to Garchomp coming in. Okay, that's fine. Because even if they bring out Garchomp, I still have my Incineroar that's able to do a decent amount of damage with the Throw Chop, and I think Sinistcha can come in pretty comfortably, so I think Sinistcha will be coming in, which is nice. They go for Icy. Yeah, I mean, this is still alright. Maybe I could have Dragon Danced again, or Dragon Clawed, but I still think that is pretty reasonable. I do get the Throw Chop off into Garchomp. And now we protect our Charizard and we switch to Sinistcha. I'm curious if they're going to protect Earthquake or if they're going to like Earthquake Muddy Water or Scald. Those are all reasonable options. But yeah, I like having the hospitality, getting Sinistcha in. Sinistcha's pretty comfortable here. We will be able to protect. The only problem is Instine's kind of awkward here. They did protect Earthquake, right? Nice. Okay. So that's good for me. But Sinistcha is able to tank that. Now it's probably Dragon Claw or Rock Slide. Here's the thing. If it's Dragon Claw, I got a Rage Powder. If it's anything else, it gets a bit awkward. Actually, maybe I should just Dragon Dance. I think the Icy Wind Dragon Claw, though, which is the awkward part. So I guess this is nowhere near over. I'm trying to figure out how I maneuver this. I think I Dragon Dance again and I Rage Powder. Let's see, are you Dragon Claw or you Rock Slide? Oh, I'm faster than their Garchomp. That's huge, actually. Okay, their Garchomp's slow. Because I have an awkward speed stat. And remember, we're neutral. Okay. They Rock Slide, unfortunately. And Icy? Yeah. Okay, so I got that play wrong, but this is actually decent. So they saw that I was faster. I'm kind of curious if they protect the Garchomp. I think I'm going to Life Dew to heal my Charizard. Okay, I see the line I want to take here for sure. Because actually being faster than the Garchomp helps a lot. Like, it actually helps immensely. So we're -2 speed with the Charizard. We're in good shape. They go for Rock Slide. If we get the Life Dew off, we're in such incredible shape. Please. This is like the only Rock Slide you have to dodge here, basically. Because I need to live the Icy Wind next turn with the Milo. Okay, nice. So I will heal the Sinistcha, I will heal the Charizard. Now our best play is to Dragon Claw the Garchomp, and we're going to set up Trick Room. Because even if they Icy Wind, we're in pretty good shape against the Floette. And again, we saw the speed interaction between my Charizard and Garchomp, and I highly doubt we speed tie. Like, that's such a weird speed tie. They're running slow Adam and Garchomp. So Dragon Claw will knock out the Garchomp, take the knockout. Beautiful. And I will live any attack with the Charizard. So this is really nice. They went for Icy Wind again. Yep. Beautiful. And we get the Trick Room up. Beautiful. Okay. The Floette recoil plus Scald is going to be a question mark. But I think I could also Dragon... Well, I don't really want to Dragon Claw the Floette. Oh, actually, it did take a bit of chip earlier. I could protect Flare Blitz here. Or I can Roost. I mean, I can Life Dew here. I can Life Dew Flare Blitz the Floette. And I think it's still pretty reasonable. So I'm going to Life Dew Flare Blitz. Because my Milotic can't knock out the Charizard if I Life Dew here. And also my Charizard should be the fastest thing on the field. So I should ensure the knockout into the Floette. Can I lose to the Milo 1v1? I could. Let's see. Do they knock out the Charizard here? They probably do a Scald. They do Scald. Okay, I could have Rage Powdered instead, but I still think that this... It's not terrible, though. Because I go Incin, I fake out to the Milo, and Life Dew to heal. Then I Throw Chop, Machigotch. I think it kind of depends on how much Machigotch is doing to the Milo. That's what's going to matter. So we're going to fake out the Milo. We're going to get a Life Dew off. And heal my Sinistcha and my Incin. Oh, this game is close. Yeah, they do have Protect, so that's why I went for the Fake Out plus the Life Dew. Okay, so it should be Recover as the last move. I have to out damage to Recover, which might mean I have to get a burn on it. But yeah, we do throw chop the Milotic slot and we go for a Machagacha. It's close. Maybe I should have Dragon Clawed. The thing is, they probably dazzled, so life, there's no like counterplay really. Oh, that's such a bad miss. I think, wait, that did a lot with the Draw Chop too. I think if I hit the Matcha, I just win. Oh no. I think I just won if I hit it there. Well, actually, let's see how much damage we're doing. They're gonna protect, stall out a turn. Maybe I should have life dude here. I should have life dude 100%. Because I can't really be wasting the Matcha Gotcha power points when they have recover protect. I think I lose, unfortunately, now. Oh. Was it better to Dragon Claw to Milotic earlier? Maybe. Maybe the play instead was to protect Charizard during the first turn of Trick Room against a Floette. Life Dew, get the recovery, bring out Instant, have Fake Out plus Dragon. Oh no, that still doesn't work. There was no like guaranteed line. It just put me in a good spot to win. Regardless. Yeah, Trick Room's over. Icy Wind at +2. I think I needed the recovery from earlier, so let's see how much we're doing with Matcha Gotcha. If we get a crit, that'd be nice. Makes up for the lost damage earlier. Oh, that's so much recovery. Oh, that was a crit, actually. I mean, I'm still going for Matcha Gotcha. They're never protecting here. They should recover or they go for Icy. Oh, I think the earlier Matcha would have been nice. Okay, it comes down to do I live Icy Wind. Please hit, please hit, please hit, please hit. Yes! They didn't want to protect ever with Milo because if they protect and I click Trick Room, they instant lose the game. So their only options were to Icy Wind or recover. Luckily, they clicked Icy Wind for me there and then try to like go for the PowerPoint stall. Woo, okay. Because if I notice a pattern of them going for like protect to get lefties every time and recover stalling, then if I get Trick Room up on the protect while they're heavily damaged from one of the Matcha Gotchas, I'd win. Oh man. Close one. Close one, but you know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. Okay, we have Aerodactyl, Eternal Floette, Garchomp, Sneasler, Basculegion, and King Gambit. So 2 Mega Evolutions, or 3, I guess, Garchomp, Floette, and Aerodactyl should always be Mega Floette. I don't know about the Aerodactyl. Leading Instant's a bit rough here. Am I going with... Probably just Charizard, Sneasler, Instant, plus Sinistcha. I don't see a reason why I wouldn't go for that combination. Tyranitar's not that good here. And Milo, it's okay, but it's not like amazing. I think I still go with Sneasler plus Charizard. I want to lead the Sneasler over Instant because of the threat of the King Gambit. So I think this is always worth it. The question is, are you Mega Aerodactyl? Because Mega Aerodactyl could be scary. I think Eternal Floette will definitely be scarier, but... we'll see. I'm curious on what they decide to lead here. I mean, they don't usually lead King Gambit, so maybe I could have let Instant, but they lead Sneasler. It's not great. I'm curious because I gotta always be mindful of all the rock moves that they have access to. Could be rock move on the Sneasler, rock move on the Garchomp, rock move on the Aerodactyl is pretty much a given, so always gotta be suspicious of the options. It also could be like no rock move Garchomp, but we'll find out. What are they going to lead here? I'd assume Aerodactyl leads. I just don't know what would be the next Pokemon. Scarf Basculegion is definitely a play, but it could be Sash on this team. Let's see. All right. They're also pretty high on the ladder, like almost 2,400. So let's see. We're going to see Aerodactyl Floette. Okay. That works, as I will lead my Sneasler Charizard. I want to make a super aggressive play because I want to think the Aerodactyl protects. I could fake out the Floette, or I could go for coaching. Both would work. I think I just fake out the Aerodactyl and I go for Dragon Dance though. Same kind of play against the same lead. We go for Fake Out into the Aerodactyl and we Dragon Dance here. There's nothing that stops priority. I get a Fake Out off an Aerodactyl, Dragon Dance, and regular Charizard, so I don't take neutral damage from the Moonblast, which would do a ton of damage. Let's see. And then we'll have to play Mindful of the Flow at the upcoming turns. Especially if they KO my Sneasler here. But, I mean, it is kind of a weird turn. We will see the Mega Evolution. Alright. And Fake Out into Aerodactyl. Okay, so they gave me the Aerodactyl. Or the Focus Sash on the Aerodactyl at the very least. I got the Dragon Dance up. They go for Gleam. Huh. Are they bulky Floette? Based on the damage, it might be. Quite interesting here. I think I live a Gleam. The problem is, would the Sinistcha Sneasler combo be enough to beat Bask? That's a bit tough to say. I think I go for Dire Claw into the Float, and I think I just Dragon Claw here, the Aerodactyl. Maybe it was go Sinistcha, but I don't know. Actually, based on the Gleam damage, Moonblast might not KO or Oko Charizard if I switched in Sinistcha. But let's see. No protects, I get the Dragon Claw off, Aerodactyl goes down. If we KO the Float, we are in an amazing spot. I could have also maybe like Flare Blitz switched into Incin as well. It is bulky Float, okay. Should be Moonblast into Charizard. Yep. Was this the right line to take? Probably not. Probably not. I think I need to close combat. The way they were playing did seem like it was bulky Float. Now? I'm going out in a Sinistcha here to heal my Sneasler. This is probably Bask coming in. Yeah, Bask comes in. Who are they taking the knockout into, though? Because I actually think Trick Room's a little bit weird for them, but at the same time, I don't know what their last is. Because right here, I could like close combat the Float to activate my White Herb, and I can go instant on the Last Respect. So I think I'll try that. I could have also switched into instant. It might be a Light of Ruin Float, and they might attack my Sneasler, but I kind of have to get the call right. If that's the case, well, here's the thing. Does Last Respect KO the Sneasler? Because I think they were locking the Last Respect into the Sneasler slot anyway. So that would work out. Let's see. Get the Intimidate off. Oh, it is not Scarf Basculegion. Okay. I did get the Intimidate off. Float goes down. And now, oh, wait. If they Last Respected my Sneasler, they do get the extra boost now. I'm hoping they target the Sinistcha slot and hope to deny Trick Room if it's like Garchomp back, but we'll see. Last Respect into... It was the Instant, so I was right on that at least. Okay. What's the final mod? Sneasler. Interesting. Is this a double up into the Instant slot? I might live Wave Crash. Oh, this game's close. This game's really, really close. I kind of want to coaching my Incin. Actually, no. I think my best play is to coaching the Incin, swap to Sinistcha here. I think that's the correct play. Because they might like close combat Wave Crash double up that slot, which would make sense to me. I'm bringing out the Sinistcha. And I get to heal my Sneasler again, which is nice. Okay, we get the coaching off. I think they did close combat plus Wave Crash. Close combat did come out. They Last Respect. Oh, they doubled in this. That actually makes sense too. Ooh, okay. Although, you know what? I think it's still fine. I think it's still fine. You know why? I'm gonna make the exact same instant coaching play. I think this is like the best option that I have because I need to figure out a way to play around the Basque. If I can play around the Basque, I can win. But the problem is the Sneasler's not accomplishing anything into the Basque. But yeah, let's see. I could definitely see close combat plus last respect into the instant slot again. And if that's the case, am I cooked? Oh, wait, if they protect, that's amazing for me. Wait, that's amazing for me. They definitely last respected the instant too. Okay. That's huge. Because my instant takes extremely well. And now what we can do is we can go for coaching again into my instant. And we can fake out the Sneasler. I like this a lot, actually. Yes, I like this a lot. So we keep coaching the instant. We get the attack and defense boost. Then we should be able to break down the Basque. I guess the question is the item on Basque is going to be really important here. The item on Basque is going to be important. Although I think it's Sash Sneasler because we didn't activate the White Herb. So if it's Sash Sneasler, that means the Basque probably isn't Sash. So I get a fake out off. I get a coaching. So they're -2 Basque Legion and +2 defense. I feel like I take this pretty well. Oh, and if they last respect to Sneasler, that also works out for me. Yeah, that works out for me well. All right, is it better for me to coaching again, or is it better for me to get a Sinistcha in for healing? I think it's better to go for another round of coaching because I have Citrus Berry. So I go for a Throat Chop into the Basque. They might Aqua Jet CC, but no, I think they go for close combat Wave Crash double up. So instant +3 defense versus -1 Sneasler. We take it extremely well. The question is, how well do we take the Basque attack? Because if we live the Basque attack, we win. Oh, that's a bad poison touch. Citrus Berry. Because I wanted my instant around to deal with the Sneasler. Yeah, okay. We at least KO'd the Basque here, which is nice. Okay. Goodbye, Basque Legion. I think the play is to go Sinistcha and Life Dew. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe I won that after the trade. I cannot believe I won that after that trade. Like the trade on Charizard X, I was like, can I win against Basque Legion? Yeah, coaching is just so good, man. Coaching is just so good. That's why we use coaching. Coaching up the instant. Who cares about like Basque Legion Sneasler? Incineroar beats those two after coaching. Insane. Absolutely insane. Oh my goodness. I think if they went for like more aggressive reads to try and catch the instant swap again, it would have been pretty bad for me. But luckily they didn't. I was able to get a huge amount of momentum by switching out instant for the Intimidates again. And then once I got the coaching boost, yeah, it was really hard for them. So how was the team? Overall, it's a lot of fun because Charizard X plus Milotic, it just reminds me of like the old VGC days where it was actually a duo that was used actually quite a bit in 2015 and 2018. It was actually able to do well. It even won a regional championship back in 2018. And this core is pretty similar with some new tricks, especially with the Sinistcha Hospitality. The Sneasler, of course, that's really good in this format. But across the board, it is just a really fun setup. Charizard X, of course, really nice into certain teams, really good into the Rotoms, really good into Charizard Y, of course. And does direct a lot of damage, especially into like Garchomp, Corviknight, a bunch of popular Pokemon in this format. So not surprising that it was able to do well in the Victory Road. If you do want to try out the team, make sure you try it with the replica code, which is linked here. But otherwise, you can check out details of the team and the creator down below in the description as well. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always. Why not check out some of the new Mega Evolutions that we have been using recently? For instance, why not check out the recent video where we showcased a really cool Mega Skarmory team that we went on an insane win streak in Pokemon Champions tier.